going to take forever.
Yeah, maybe so.
Perhaps we should get some wine.
Perhaps we should.
Hey everybody, it's James from RATTLECAN'S Guitar Restorations, and welcome to our new YouTube channel. I know it sounds kind of strange hearing me say our new YouTube channel since all you see is, well, this. But I am here with my lovely wife.
Hi.
Who is painfully shy, in addition to being really hot and insanely smart. She's like definitely the yin to my yang, and she's trouble. So this is the channel of our journey to buy and renovate a house. Jill and I have been married for like 25 years.
No.
26 years. 27 years.
28.
Math is hard. And we have lived all over the world in many different types of houses, and we're tired. So we have decided that at least for the meantime, we are going to stay put. And so we're looking for a house. And since we have lived in a number of houses, we're kind of particular about what we want. So we came up with a checklist. And on that checklist, we know that we wanted a ranch. We wanted it to be not cramped, but not big. Because we've lived in some big houses, and if you have a big house, that's a lot of crap to clean. Probably can't say that. That's a lot of windows to clean. So we're looking for like 1,800 square feet, but not huge, like definitely not 2,500 square feet.
That'd be too big.
Too big, because we have actually booted 3 of the 5 children from the nest so far, and we got 2 coming up. So when they're gone, I just don't want to clean another room.
Or 2.
Or 2. So a ranch, 1,800 plus square feet. We're looking for 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. A basement because...
Well, we live in Ohio and it storms here. There are tornadoes here.
Apparently there's tornadoes in Ohio.
And we have a lot of stuff.
She does.
Storage.
She has a lot of stuff. We would like it to have natural gas. We would like it to have an attached garage for Ruby. Ruby is my wife's car, who does not like shacking up with power tools and things of that ilk.
Things that make dirt and dust.
Things that make her dirty. She doesn't... Cut. And we're looking for something that has some sort of workshop space. We don't really know what that is. You'll know it when you see it. It's kind of like art. And then when you get up on the high end of the wish list, you're looking for things like, if it had a double oven, that'd be really nice. If it had wood floors, that would be really nice. If it has character, and again, I can't tell you what character is, but you know it when you see it.
Well, and it's not a cookie cutter.
We would like there to be space in the backyard for a garden. We would like it to have mature trees. We would like it to have a sidewalk so you could go out and take a walk if you're into that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what we're looking for. And we're in Dayton, and Dayton's pretty hot right now. Apparently, lots of the country is hot right now as far as the real estate market. So we're learning quickly that houses that are in our area tend to go pretty quick. Quick like we saw a Cape Cod pop up, and that was in the middle of the day. Called our realtor, and he looked at the schedule to view it, and there was one appointment for that evening. We got the first appointment for the next day, and a half an hour before we left, we found out that the house had accepted an offer. Not unusual for that to happen. If you are a viewer of Rattle Can Guitar Restorations, you will know who Adolf is. And before too long, on Mrs. Rattlecan's house, you'll be introduced to Adolf just as well. He has just circled us and apparently deemed us not a threat, and we will not have to be dealt with. We are looking at ranch houses. We're looking at ranch houses with basements. We're looking at them not with basements. It has been almost a soul-searching kind of thing to do, because we would look at a house and we would come home and we would look at the checklist. Does it fit the budget? Because that's like number one. Does it fit the budget? Is it a style that we can work with? Because we tried to make tri-levels work, not so much. It's hard to find a master bedroom on the main level in a tri-level. It's hard to find a proper basement in a tri-level without sacrificing your entire family room. So we made an offer on a house and got sniped on that. I'm still bitter about it. I will eventually scab over that portion of my injured soul, and that's okay, because we later found out that what looked like a really great workshop had a sunken foundation floor, and before you could even do anything would need like $3,000 or $4,000 of concrete work. So,
and plus it didn't have a basement.
And it didn't have a basement, which is no mas bueno. My Spanish is crapola. So we kept looking and kept visiting, and we kept critiquing houses. Could we make it work? We had a backup house that but they wanted way too much money for it. It was a nice house, but they wanted way too much money for it.
And it needed a good bit of work.
And it needed a good bit, yeah. And I was not real eager about laying down 2,000 square foot of wood floor. I mean, I'd do it, but it wasn't like about it. And as we were driving back on vacation, we were again talking to our realtor. We saw a house not too far from us that came up on the market, looked like it might work. He was leaving to do some family stuff, and we said, well, we're almost in town, can we meet you there at the house and just look at it real quick? So we went and we looked through the house, and it was an okay house. It was tight.
It was too small.
It was tight. I thought we had a small bathroom in Japan. This was a tiny bathroom. You've seen tiny houses? This would have been a great bathroom for a tiny house. And so we were trying to make it work. The basement worked great, but everything upstairs things weren't in the right place, and it was plaster. And so then this other house came up, and I had been in this house, and there was an estate sale, and I walked through on the estate sale, and I thought this house might work, but it was filled with stuff and filled with people and filled with cigarette smoke, and so we knew that was potentially coming up on the market, and it came up on the market as we're coming back on vacation on Friday. We had already kind of strong-armed our realtor into seeing a house on Friday. He says, well, I get back on Sunday. How about if we go look at this house on Sunday? So we agreed, wondering if the house was even going to be on the market in 48 hours. So we went and we looked at the house, and there was a lot of kind of head nodding, and it immediately started checking things off the list. As you pull into the driveway, it's got a flat lot. It has space for the vehicles. It has a workshop. It has a place for Ruby. It has mature trees. It has space for a garden, and we've not even made it into the back door yet. We walk into the sunroom, which has louvered glass windows, and then we walk into the kitchen, and now we're ticking boxes off again. It's got wood floors. It has a recently updated refrigerator, dishwasher, and a double oven. In stainless, we're not huge fans of stainless, but if you're going to look at a house that was built in 1955 and it has a stainless double oven, you could polish stainless. The kitchen wasn't cramped. It had a laundry room on the first floor. It had a tiny bathroom off the washroom, which is off the kitchen. It had like a den. It had a living room and a dining room, and it had a fireplace with a marble threshold, hearth. We walked down the hall, and the halls were not like walking down a hall on a cruise ship like some of the 50s houses are. It had 3 bedrooms. They're decent size. It's not remarkable, but it has what we call good bones. The ceilings are tall. The hallways are wide. The closets are big. The bathrooms are
awesome.
That's a word.
Awesome 1950s.
As they were installed in 1955, almost without exception. We know that the countertop in the master bathroom has been replaced, but we think the cabinet's original.
Potentially.
Yeah, because I don't know if you noticed that the whatever you call it, the thing that holds the vanity, has a shape like this and then a shape like this, and all the toilet tanks have the same shape. See? Paying attention.
I haven't noticed that.
I just noticed that the other day because, it's what I do. So we walk downstairs because it has a basement, check. I look up in the ceiling and it has 2x10 joists, check. It has
they're wood.
They're wood. They're not V-lams. They're like real, honest to goodness, 16-inch on-center 2x10s with plank subfloor. We'll talk about that later. It has a something we call the Knotty Pine Pub, Knotty. Get your mind out of the gutter. It had a boiler, which I didn't know exactly what to think about that because I've never lived in a house with a boiler before.
Yes, we have in England.
But when I think boiler, I think, that movie we watch at Christmas. With the air of obscenities hanging from where the father figure has fought the beast in the basement. It had a family room with another fireplace, and then it had a nice big room in the back. And so again, we're checking boxes off. And then, there's a shop in the back, a detached shop that Ruby wouldn't have to roll her pristine little tires into. That might fit my stuff.
And how big is the shop?
It's like this big.
How many square feet?
On the that's a big number.
1,350.
Something like that.
There are houses smaller than that.
I've lived in a number of them. Yes, your parents had one, my mom had one, my grandparents, yeah. So this checked off a whole bunch of boxes, and as we're looking at each other, the check boxes of the things that it has is being checked down, and then in your mind you're going, it has a funny wiring system, am I going to have to replace the wiring in the house? It has an older HVAC system, 2 separate systems. It has a boiler with floor registers, baseboard heat for heating, and then in the attic it has a central air unit for air conditioning that appears to only condition the air in the upper level of the house. So am I going to have to replace one or both of those? It's got wooden floors, but the wooden floors are covered with carpet, which means we pull the carpet up, which which means we refinish the floors. So you got to learn how to refinish floors. It has plaster in part of the house, so we'll have to learn how to repair plaster. It has 2 lead ungrounded outlets, so let's see, we'll have to rewire some portions of the house in some form or fashion. So we look at each other and you do this and you don't say a lot and you bounce up on your tiptoes a little bit, and the realtor looks at you and you look at your wife and your wife looks at the realtor, and then he goes, well, we could go to the office and write an offer. And we kind of went, okay. The offer that we made was, I can close as soon as 14 days or I can close in 60 days, whatever suits you best. And now you have someone who has an offer who says, I'm willing to work with you and do whatever it makes this easy. And so we put the offer in, we wrote it up, we turned it in within like an hour of being in the office, and we gave them until noon the next day, just because the market is super hot, and we made sure that the realtor told them, this is a cash offer, you're not dealing with a bank, you're not dealing with an appraiser who can shoot things down, so if you want this to go, we can go. And I got a call at 10:30 the next day from the realtor who said that our girls would have to get used to living in a house with hideous bathrooms, because that's what the girls called them. And so that brings us up to where we're at. And in the next episode, we are going to, this is where you say, inspect the home.
Oh, that's right. In the next episode,
So
we're going
let's
to inspect the
try
home.
this again.
So in the next episode, we will inspect the home.
We will inspect the home. But we'll learn some stuff. We'll just leave it at that. So that is the introductory video to Mrs. RATTLECAN'S house. I am Jill. I mean,
What? No, you're not. You're Mr. RATTLECAN.
and we're gonna have to leave that in, because that's just who we are. So this is the first. This is the first episode of Mrs. RATTLECAN'S house. I'm James,
And I'm Jill.
the disembodied hand, and be sure to be sure to click like and subscribe on the button if you're not already subscribed. Be sure to follow us on the Facebook, because that is where you will get, eventually you'll probably be getting day-to-day messages, clips of the goings on. And be sure to tell your friends, because guitars and houses are made of almost the same thing, so could it really be that hard to go from one to another? I don't think so. Cheers.
If you enjoyed watching this episode of Mrs. RATTLECAN'S house, consider checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and to get the latest updates on our progress, like us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Perhaps we should have some wine.